which we are having today on a very important topic, internationalization of Indian rupee. There has been a lot of talk during past.
Good morning for inviting me to speak on a topic which is very contemporary, and you can even interrupt me and ask questions if it is clarificatory. Detailed questions, we will have some time to discuss about some intricate issues which may not be covered in the presentation. Now, to start with, why is internationalization of a currency needed? Just I want to give you a perspective. You know, the multilateral trading system is dysfunctional at this point of time. So anyway, that is one of these, economic reasons as to why this, multilateral trading system is dysfunctional. Theory says free trade is better than restricted trade, and some bilateral trade arrangements is now dominating around the world. Now, capital flows are frequently disrupted since the Jamaica Agreement in 1976. 1976, either adopting some sort of flexible exchange rate or pegging their currency to some key currencies. Those things also we will see. There is restrictions in the current account, mostly goods and services. So far as these capital flows are concerned, they are mostly market driven and overshooting. But defending the exchange rate is neither desirable nor feasible in an integrated world. Lose the foreign exchange, temporarily you can prevent overshooting, but this is not a medium-term strategy. Why the option is limited, I will show you. Mainly because, in addition to that, there can be what is called bilateral currency swap arrangement on either dollar or, for that matter, other freely usable currency. One of the 10 big importers in the world, its position is 8th, particularly foreign exchange market. We should have a very deep foreign exchange market. So why this is necessary? The main reason is should be open 24/7 for at least, or not 24/7, at least 24/5 at least. Now there is a debate whether internationalization of a currency requires capital account convertibility. Masala bond, and the size is very small, that is being traded in the international market. That is the kind of situation that is emerging, that these are some of the key factors that influence the internationalization of a currency. Euro, Japanese yen, pound sterling, US dollar were in terms of US dollar. Now it has gradually come down to around 60%, 59%. That is, and Japanese yen hardly to 3%. Chinese renminbi negligible. Then foreign exchange turnover, if you see on a daily basis, foreign exchange turnover, dollar, closely followed by euro, and distantly by Japanese yen, and to some extent Chinese. Internationalization of a currency. So design of this internationalization of a currency, these are some of the things which one has to see. First, maintain macroeconomic stability on an enduring basis. Next, before the global financial crisis, since both the crises followed currency. This is what is a very major initiative that RBI has taken, that we will discuss in detail. So when you are talking of internationalization of currency, several things are necessary, not only local currency trade invoicing, payment and settlement, but also macroeconomic stability, capital move towards capital account convertibility, then developing financial market, currency invoicing. If you see, this is not the exhaustive list. I have given some example. Most of these are relating to, since 2011, China gradually shifted from trade invoicing in US dollar to local currency invoicing in yuan, 50%. Local currency. See, the whole thing is they are trying to popularize or internationalize this currency before it was included in the SDR basket. China launched now here, only trade invoicing will not help. There should be a mechanism for settlement of foreign exchange transaction. Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. So SWIFT related transaction. Now, since the end of 2019, the European Union established Instinex for bilateral trade. See, there is something called UN section, UN sanction, United Nations sanction that is binding on member country. They are de-swifted from the system. De-swifted means their banks are not in a position to use the SWIFT mechanism or CLS settlement kind of thing, avoiding the use of dollar, avoiding the use of SWIFT. Now coming to where do we stand, that is very much necessary. India is definitely the fifth largest economy. In terms of PPP, it is the third largest. If you see its share in the world export and world import, it is not very high. Sorry, 2.5%. So our export, if we are not a big player in the global export market, very much high. US is the biggest exporter in the world. That's why demand for Chinese yuan is very high rather than India. So our export as a percentage to global export is rising, but it is rising very slowly. If you see the import, it is hardly 3.5% of merchandise trade. In this services account, particularly unilateral transfer, private transfer, India is receiving a lot of transfer. That's why demand for rupee might be rising. Remittance for FDI, for capital flow, but not necessarily in the merchandise trade account. But it is rising. Since it is rising, probably we have a potential to internationalize our currency. To an extent, through UPI, through CCIL, among a few countries, other than bilateral trade agreement with the countries. Now, inclusion of India government bond in JP Morgan index. Here comes something called Rupee Vostro account before July 2023 circular. So before the recent circular, even if some of your international trade is denominated in rupee, it has to be settled in convertible currency. This was the kind of arrangement. It is non-discriminatory and comprehensive. Means any country, those who would like to join this, bilateral kind of arrangement, depends upon the consent of the country. It is non-discriminatory and comprehensive. Not only Indo-Iran or Indo-Russia. So dependency on hard currency, too much of foreign exchange reserve may not be required. If you can have it, then approval required for RBI for opening special rupee postal account of their country. That is one of the features. Then INR balance can be transferred from one special rupee postal account to another. If special rupee postal account has a surplus means we are importing more. If we are importing, we are crediting rupee. Then there will be some surplus that can be used for making payment to the exporter from India. They will not join. So it all depends upon the country. If they are willing to join this rupee postal account only when they are under the threat from US sanction or they are facing some problem in the international market, and settlement in INR, demand for the US dollar can be reduced through well-designed domestic policy. Here, when you are talking of internationalization of currency, only rupee trade invoicing is not sufficient. Of the Reserve Bank of India, they had given the report how to internationalize Indian rupee. The report of the interdepartmental group, PMLA, harmonization of tax system, masala bond tax system. So these are some of the things that should be a level playing field available. Allow INR account. Now, one more thing they have suggested will be introduced. Central bank digital currency, when it becomes fully operational. Now, the Bank for International Settlement is working on this. After the cross-border, after this CBDC is introduced, then single global platform for cross-border transaction may emerge because SWIFT-based cross-border transaction, the transaction cost is very high. Matter this, rupee invoicing, etc., is a partial solution. Cross-border transaction usable currencies are limited. Globally traded, other freely usable currency denominated assets are limited. Master account from 22 countries. So these 22 countries are probably in trouble. Trade balance which is deficit. We are importing more and crediting to their rupee master account. That will not work. When our yield curve will be very much affected, our domestic monetary policy will not work. Our financial market should be wide. Even if there is a large inflow, outflow on debt account.
Thank you, Dr. Sir. Any questions from the audience? You're welcome to ask your questions. Just unmute yourself.
Other channels which are sometimes leading to money laundering, etc. Now, the commercial banks should popularize the use of CBDC. See, why they have to take this step? Because now people are very much comfortable with UPI. UPI is very, because they are accustomed to it. But UPI, this transaction cost is, somebody is bearing the transaction cost, not the customer, but somebody is bearing. In case of CBDC, probably transaction cost will be much less. CLS Bank, New York-based settlement, and this continuous linked settlement allowed to enter. The messaging system is not the issue. Issue is ultimately it will be settled and it should be credited or debited to your nostro account. So crediting and debiting is done. That is the settlement. See, International Financial Service Center, the GIFT city, there are certain establishments. Europe, there actually we are paying the transaction cost. But IFSC, particularly non-deliverable forwards.
Regarding first, the next sessions that we are going to have on this Saturday, we will have a session of monetary policy, because the RBI monetary policy review statement will be announced on Friday. So as earlier, we'll be having our session on the succeeding Sunday, enabled so that you can download. But it is resulting in many problems that people are many times it. And I will be sending you the link for that. Please register immediately on that link, because in future, all the videos will be shared through that platform. And it is necessary that all the members take the membership immediately, because as soon as I create the platform there, it is a platform for mentors. Not many mentors have joined so far, but many other people joined in to view the videos which are lying there, and I had to remove them. So I'll request everybody that when I will be sending the links today to mentors as well as to members, please register there immediately, so that after that I close the today, although it was not in the regular calendar, but we also felt that it is very necessary for all the bankers to know these concepts, and we had this session. So first of all, thanks to Bhoi sir